Yeah, I feel like I missed a lot. The pager thing happened while I was gone.
That sent
that's
me
crazy.
into a whole about lithium-ion battery.
The pager thing is
explosions.
crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like, I almost went back to Z on
But
that
let's
one.
hold on. I need
I'm
to
like, that's
stress this
pimp.
now. Your house is filled. You got all these fucking devices that have lithium-ion batteries
Yeah.
that can just explode whenever.
Right. Just at any point.
Whenever they want. I had an old MacBook like 10 years ago, and the battery blew up inside the laptop.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
I would
too.
just keep using it.
Hot laptop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I never thought that was a bomb, but apparently it is. Not to say that that's what happened to the pagers.
How'd
but
they do it? Was it like a remote detonator?
I think they just somewhere intercepted a shipment and added explosives to the pagers.
Yeah, and then they just sold them to everybody at like some discounted rate. With
Of
like, come
course,
buy our
great
pager.
deal, great
Yes,
deal for
yes,
you.
no problem. Won't
No
explode.
problem.
No explode for you.
Great. That's more Russian, dude.
Yeah, well, it's all.
It's
yeah.
really offensive,
Sorry,
actually.
man. I'll go a little more.
say ever-
yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
It's so funny for the Israelis to sell shitty appliances.
Yeah, right.
It's so them. It's so like mall kiosk of them.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very much like bark them in, get it on their hip, and then
They love selling the cosmetics at malls, like in the kiosk. Have you ever been to the Dead Sea?
come here, come
here.
Yes,
Here's a pager.
very soft for your skin. Very
It's
soft.
also cool that Hezbollah was using pagers too. It's very throwback.
It's very like trickle down economics working globally. Like whatever tech we had 20 years ago ends up in some country somewhere at some time.
Wait, so you're afraid of batteries now?
Yeah, they can just blow the
Well,
fuck up.
well, that was an issue when like this new thing of smartphones came out. It was happening on planes.
We have one here in the office for the screw gun. And I think about that. I'm like, what the fuck? What if that just blew up, dude?
Well, there was a point where whenever
Your
new
drill?
Samsung,
Your DeWalt is gonna.
Yeah, the batteries
If
are.
Israel gets hold of it.
They're like bombs.
It's
and
true.
it's random. Occasionally they'll just fail and they
Yeah.
short circuit internally, and then it's like a thermite bomb. They just like start cooking off at like 3,000 degrees.
yeah, that was happening on planes. There was whenever some first Samsung phone came out, they were using that new type of battery, and it wasn't ready for the pressure.
There's
they were
a
just exploding
comedian who
on
had
planes.
a great joke
Yeah,
about that.
Dan Ninen's classic. You're
Yeah.
kind of wading into his
Sorry,
territory.
I didn't want to step on his toes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on, you're stealing Nine's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched
Classic.
it on the way in.
I heard
so
of the Hezbollah's pagers exploded. Good thing they weren't using the new Samsung Galaxy Note S3. He would do this bit, and then he would have a Canadian accent whenever he said Samsung Galaxy. I've been off his radar for like a decade now. That's probably going to get me back on.
Is he cooking still?
Probably. And he's got to be like 42 years old now at this point.
He's the best.
10 years
comedian.
ago, he was 30. He was 32. Yeah.
Wow, fascinating.
He would do this thing where he would there's these like websites like maybe is it Muck Rack is one of them. There's a place for like people that are freelance. You know, they have like freelancing contracts with. I don't know if AP does freelancing, but if you want to write for like Business Insider or something,
Okay.
you can just submit. You know, they'll pay you $200 and you just write an article about something business related if they can get eyes on it.
Right.
And if you're that kind of freelance journalist and you don't have any insight into anything, you can go to these websites and people will be like, you can interview me. I own a lemonade stand in Illinois.
Yeah.
And then he would go on there and he would, you know, like fucking like get journalists to write about him. And then he would tell them he's, you know, called himself millennial comedian. You know, 10 years ago, this was a thing.
Right.
I mean, he was like 57 years old. And then he would get them to publish that he was like 27. And then he would manage his own. But it's also like it doesn't matter. You're an Indian man who does comedy. It's not like.
Well, he's half Indian, half Japanese.
People aren't going to be like, sorry, Toots, you're too old.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like your age isn't hurting you in any way.
No, exactly. They just want your perspective.
In fact, to be like in good shape and active and athletic at 57, that's like more.
It's more endearing. It's
it's
more.
It's like if people were like, oh, this guy's like, yeah, he looks pretty good for 75.
He does look good.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, he was an active guy. I remember one time we got into it and he sent me a video of him rollerblading downstairs backwards.
It's hard
to prove how cool he
in
was.
Central Park or something, right?
Yeah. I mean,
that's not easy.
I know it's not easy, but
to spend the time on,
it's the gayest flex of all time.
Totally.
It's the gayest brag of all time.
Check this out, dude. To think you're going to be cool as you're strapping on rollerblades to impress your friend. That's a tough look. That's a tough look.
Blading.
Yeah, but it was so funny because he would just like he had an enemies list, and you'd be put on his like enemies newsletter basically.
Oh wow!
If you even just like said the things that he did and laughed about it, which
wow.
like were,
so we're getting on the list right now. If that,
I don't know if they still
Nick's
exist.
OG list.
Yeah, I think he might be like done with all that.
Yeah.
You know, because I think maybe it blew up at one point.
I think he's done very well, probably.
I think he was already doing well prior to that. I think he had like a corporate job and made a bunch of money and then understood how like corporate event booking works or something. But Joe Robinson told me, because Joe Robinson was like the first guy that was on his enemies list, I think. And Joe Robinson met him. He was like hosting like a Kurt Shackelford show.
Shout out.
And he told Joe, he's like, I make $300,000 a year doing stand-up. He's like, well, then why are you making $5 tonight?
right.
At Re-Rock.
Why are you doing a bar in Clarendon?
Yeah.
And so I guess Joe blogged about him or something, but then he would like go after Joe and criticize Joe all the time and stuff. But and then JL Colvin, that was the other guy that was big.
Yeah.
It was JL Colvin, Joe Robinson, and Josh Homer were like Dan's.
The axis of evil.
Yeah, Dan's top three.
Yeah. His shit list.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Once you start writing lists, you're rarely in the right.